Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in. And I don't want to make this intro long because today we are talking about who could potentially make the Pro Bowl for the first time in 2024 from each team. Now, some of these names on this list might be kind of crazy to you. Some of them might make a lot of sense, but we're going to get into it. So without further ado, let's dive into it. We're gonna check out this list, so let's get into it. For the Cardinals, they have Trey McBride. Now, there's not a lot of people on that roster that could potentially make Pro Bowlers. Maybe Marvin Harrison Jr., Buda Baker. I think he's already made one, but Trey McBride, I mean, that's a good start. But the team, maybe Paris Johnson Jr. from The Ohio State University, but yeah, they don't have a lot on this roster that could potentially make Pro Bowlers, so Trey McBride actually makes some sense, even though I don't think he will. But Atlanta Falcons, Bijan Robinson. Now, I will say Bijan, he definitely has the potential to make his first Pro Bowl. Maybe a Kyle Pitts now with him having better quarterback play. Drake London, maybe. I'm not sure if he made a Pro Bowl, but yeah, Bijan Robinson, with the talent that he has at that running back position for the Falcons and the new offense and things coming in, I think he could possibly be that guy. He could possibly be the guy. Baltimore Ravens, Owe. I don't know. Odofe. I don't want to mess up that name, but he could possibly potentially be their first Pro Bowler. So, I mean, they have a list of guys that's already made Pro Bowlers: Lamar, Derrick Henry, Marlon Humphrey, Roquan. So I think he's just probably the odd man out on this roster. So he does have the potential to make a Pro Bowl, but I don't think, unless he has a great year, I don't see it. Dalton Kincaid, that is one that I believe really does have really true Pro Bowl potential. Now that Stephon Diggs is out of the door, now that Gabe Davis is out of the door, I mean, it opens up a lot of targets for him, maybe Dawson Knox as well. So Dalton Kincaid is one of those names that he does have targets open up because of the departures and I want to say the lack of the number one big time threat like a Stephon Diggs used to bring to this team. So Dalton Kincaid could be one of those names. For the Carolina Panthers, we have Robert Hunt. He's been a really good guard throughout the course of his time in the NFL with the Dolphins, and him being in a Panthers uniform, maybe Bryce Young, maybe Xavier Legette, maybe. But maybe J.C. Horn if he's ever healthy. But Robert Hunt does sound like a really good pick for them. For my Bears is DJ Moore, and I think he should have made the Pro Bowl last year. So DJ Moore being on this list it's crazy he hasn't made a Pro Bowl in his career, but despite him being productive, despite last year having career highs in all statistical categories, snub from the top 100. I still don't get how DJ Moore hasn't made a Pro Bowl. I still don't get how DJ Moore was now on the top 100. Next, we have Cincinnati Bengals. We have T. Higgins. I can see that as well. I mean, Jamar Chase is going to get the majority of attention, but now with Tyler Boyd out of the door, I think that opens up more targets for T. Higgins. So I can possibly see that being a play. I don't see anybody, maybe beside maybe a Trey Hendrickson, and I'm not sure if he's already made a Pro Bowl on this defensive side of the ball for the Bengals that can potentially be a Pro Bowler. So I would say T. Higgins is a good pick. Cleveland Browns, Dustin Hopkins. It's crazy to have a kicker on here with Justin Tucker in that same division, who's been the best kicker in football for the last few years. You have Owosu Kiramo, who's made a Pro Bowl. David Njoku, who's made a Pro Bowl. Deshaun Watson's made Pro Bowls. Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper. This team is loaded with Pro Bowlers on the roster, so maybe he's just the odd man out. It's loaded with talent. It's loaded with studs on this roster who are perennial Pro Bowlers. Myles Garrett. So he's just the odd man out on this roster. Dallas Cowboys, Demarius DeMarvion Overshown, and this roster is also full of a lot of Pro Bowlers with Dak, Zeke, with Michael Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Trevon Diggs. This roster has a lot of Pro Bowlers already on it, and I'm not sure whether Overshown is going to actually make it. He's a potential. Deron Bland, and yeah, this roster has a lot of Pro Bowlers, so he's just an odd man out in this roster. Garrett Bowles, and this is crazy because I'm surprised. He's been one of the better tackles in the league for the past few years, and it's crazy that he hasn't made a Pro Bowl. I mean, you do have potential with this Broncos team. Maybe Cortland Sutton maybe makes a Pro Bowl. But Garrett Bowles, I'm actually surprised he hasn't made a Pro Bowl throughout his career. He's been productive for the majority of his career with the Broncos. And they have been losing. I think that's probably part of it. But it's surprising that he hasn't made a Pro Bowl. For the Detroit Lions, Alan McNeil. Now, he's been a very solid defensive tackle on the interior for the Lions. The Lions, you got Jared Goff, who's Pro Bowl. You had Amara St. Brown Pro Bowl. Aiden Hutchinson Pro Bowl. And Carlton Davis possibly. And, I mean, they have a lot of talent on this Detroit Lions roster, but Alan McNeil has been a very solid defensive tackle in this league, and he does have Pro Bowl potential written on him. Green Bay Packers, I think the obvious answer was Jordan Love. He's coming off of a 2023, the bottom half, which he would play some really excellent football. And I hate to even talk positive about them because you guys know I'm a Bears fan, but I think this is an easy pick for the Packers. Is Jordan Love. I think he's going to continue to get better, as much as I hate to say it. I think he has the potential to be the Pro Bowler, and I think he probably will end up being a Pro Bowler if things go right with Green Bay. So, this is an obvious answer. Houston, Texas, Derek Stingley Jr. Yeah, this one, maybe including Nico Collins. So, you have Derek Stingley, you have Nico Collins, who could potentially make a Pro Bowl with the season that he had last year. C.J. Stroud made it last year in his rookie year. So, Derek Stingley, he's a very solid corner. He's going into year 3, and I think he's going to keep getting better and better. And he had a very good second year last year, so that's a good pick for the Houston Texans. Next, in the Indianapolis Colts, Zaire Franklin, a very good linebacker who's been productive in the past couple of years. He's in year 7. I didn't think he was in the league that long, but maybe, I'm not going to say Anthony Richardson, maybe Michael Pittman Jr., maybe Kenny Moore, but he does have Pro Bowl potential, especially with the productive play that he's done at the linebacker position. Foye Oluokun, now he's led the league in tackles the past 2 seasons. And it's crazy he hasn't made a Pro Bowl. And he's been a very solid linebacker, whether it was his time in Atlanta or his now time in Jacksonville. And I think he gets underrated because of the names like a Roquan, because of the names like a Fred Warner in the league at their linebacker position. Tremaine Edmunds, who's made a Pro Bowler with his time with the Buffalo Bills. Now he's a Bear, so he does get overlooked, but I still think he's a very good linebacker. For the Kansas City Chiefs, Trent McDuffie, I'm not sure about. I have to see what this defense looks like without L'Jarius Sneed at their cornerback position. McDuffie did have a really good year last year, and this roster, kind of like Cleveland's, is full of guys who've been Pro Bowlers, whether it's Mahomes, whether it's Kelsey. So, and Creed Humphreys, a very good offensive lineman. Chris Jones. So, I think Trent McDuffie does have that potential now that he's probably going to see a lot of that number 1 corner type of time because of the departure of L'Jarius Sneed. So we shall see with this Steve Spagnuolo defense. Today's video is brought to you by Cellular C4. This is a product that I personally used before I even decided to partner with them. And the first thing I got introduced to was the energy drinks by C4. This right here is a fruit punch flavor. They have many other flavors. They have popsicle flavors that just dropped. They have Skittles, Starburst, all the type of flavors that you want. To help you get started with your day, you can wake up in the morning before you start your day and drink you one of those. And also before you get that workout in, when it's workout day, you can take you some pre-workout. To help you get the boost in your workout, all the products, 0 sugar, low calories. This is a great product to take you in your workouts and your journey on fitness to the next level.
and I am happy to partner with a product that I was already using in my own personal life. And I will leave my code in the description below to save you guys 20% on your first purchase of C4 of their workouts. They even have muscle recovery to help boost after workouts. They have so many supplements and things to help you on your fitness journey, and you can get yours today in the description below. Click the link and use my code APW Sports to help you save 20%. And again, the links are in the description below, and use the code APW Sports to save you 20% on your purchase. Now, it is time to get back into the video.
Raiders, Jack Jones, they really don't. I do like some of the things Jack Jones did, especially last year in that bottom half where the Raiders really started to play better football. Offensively, outside of Devontae Adams, I don't really see much on that offensive side making a Pro Bowl. Defensively, we already know what Max Crosby is, but Jack Jones does have some Pro Bowl potential. Christian Watkins has already been a Pro Bowler who they signed this offseason, so he does have that. Next, Los Angeles Chargers, my guy J.K. Dobbins from The Ohio State University. Now, his problem has been injuries. Whether it's been a torn Achilles, whether he had a torn ACL, whether he's missed time. That's been J.K. Dobbins' problem, is the injury bug. Now, you guys know, like I said, he's an Ohio State guy, so I'm always rooting for him, and I hope this does come to fruition with Jim Harbaugh as the head coach, where him and Gus Edwards, they really love to run the football. And I think the lack of receiver talent is going to give the running back room more touches, even though Justin Herbert, I think, has MVP potential. But I just don't think that wide receiver room is going to be strong enough to where I think they're going to run the football a little bit more. And that's kind of been Jim Harbaugh's thing, whether it's been in San Fran, whether it's been at that team up north. He runs the football. Los Angeles Rams, Kevin Dotson. Now, I had to see Kyron Williams could potentially be a guy that also makes a first-time Pro Bowl. I'm not sure if he's made it or not. Looking at this list, Kevin Dotson has been a very solid offensive lineman, and I think this Rams team is still going to be one of those, I want to say mid-tier to top, mid to like upper mid-level type of football teams, especially if Matthew Stafford can stay healthy. I still believe some of the things on his defense, but Kevin Dotson is very solid. For the Miami Dolphins, Javon Holland, I can see this happening. They have a really solid defense. New system, Vic Fangio is now out of the door. They have a lot, or also, like I said, that's full of Pro Bowlers and full of talent. Losing Christian Wilkins does kind of help them, or hurt them, I should say. But Javon Holland has been developing into a really good defensive player last year, and he just didn't stay healthy. But Christian Darrisaw for the Minnesota Vikings. Now, he is one of the better tackles in the NFL. I hate to even compliment somebody in my own division, but Christian Darrisaw he's balling. Is one of the better left tackles in football. And that's going to be needed with the protection of Sam Darnold now that J.J. McCarthy has went down. I think his play does elevate himself to a Pro Bowler. I really do. And that depends on the Trent Williams situation in San Fran. So, I can see that. New England Patriots doesn't have a lot of talent on his roster. Christian Gonzalez, possibly, but he did miss a ton of time. Actually missed most of the season last year. And he's probably the only player that I think that has the potential to make a Pro Bowl this year. They did draft Drake May, but I don't even see him starting right away. So, Christian, yeah. And New Orleans Saints, Chris Olave from The Ohio State University. I could easily see this happening. Depends on what Derek Carr does. Even though I've personally been one that I am not going to say Derek Carr has been great, but I think he's been somewhat better. But Derek Carr has to be consistent. But Chris Olave, my boy, I think he can make a Pro Bowl with good quarterback play. And that is the key. For the New York Giants, Bobby Okereke, I could say Kayvon Thibodeau may be on this list that could potentially make his first Pro Bowl. And I don't know if he made it last year or not. Dexter Lawrence on that defensive line that's going to open up a lot of things for that linebacker group. So Okereke can be one of those guys where he's all over the football already. So I think he could basically be in that Pro Bowl discussion. Even though this Giants team, I still don't think it's going to be very good, but he can be there. New York Jets, Breece Hall. Now Garrett Wilson is out. I think he's already been a Pro Bowler. Aaron Rodgers staying healthy. And Breece Hall, that's his question too. If Breece Hall can stay healthy, he could potentially make a Pro Bowler, in my opinion. When he's healthy, he is a very productive running back. So he does have that Pro Bowl potential. You have a defense that's loaded with Pro Bowl talent and players that have made Pro Bowls. Maybe DJ Reed can possibly be added to this list if he hasn't made a Pro Bowl. But Breece Hall, when healthy, I can see that. Philadelphia Eagles, Devontae Smith, I could possibly see that as well. They have new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. Jalen Hurts, I think the Eagles should bounce back. You know, that was a downside last year that was just record crap. So, Devontae Smith, possibly. As long as he gets more touches, even though it's been a little bit overshadowed with A.J. Brown and what he's been doing, but Devontae Smith does have Pro Bowl potential. Pittsburgh Steelers, George Pickens, and I can see that. Of course, that depends on the quarterback play, whether it's Fields, whether it's Wilson, but George Pickens has Pro Bowl written all over him. He has Pro Bowl written all over him. Very talented, size, speed, hands. I love what George Pickens does. So, Pro Bowl potential, definitely. 49ers, Brandon Ayuk. Now, that depends on if he's still on the roster or not. We shall see. But with Deebo Samuel always hurt every 5 minutes. So, potentially, yes. Christian McCaffrey gets a lot of attention on his offense, but Brandon Ayuk, especially last year, just been coming into his own and getting better. And we shall see. As of now, he's a Niner, but who knows? This can change by the moment I finish recording this video. But we don't know. But he does have that. For the Seattle Seahawks, Boy Mafe. But, I mean, this does DK is a Pro Bowler. Surprised Tyler Lockett hasn't. I think he may have been on special teams or something. But J.S. Sand, if he gets more touches, maybe. Kenneth Walker, the third, I really like what he could potentially do. I think he could be a Pro Bowler on this team as well. I'm not sure if he's made it. I don't think so. But defensively, we have Woolen that made it. Devin Witherspoon could be potentially, if he didn't make it. So, Mafe, I think he's just the odd man. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Yaya Diaby. I mean, this team is an underrated football team. A lot of their talent is, I think, on the offensive side of the ball, whether it's Wirfs, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. But Diaby, with the talent that they lost Devin White in offseason in free agency. They traded Carlton Davis, and they lost Shaq Barrett. So I think this is a potential team that he's a potential player that can. So I think he could have some bigger success in that Todd Bowles blitz defense. Titans, L'Jarius Sneed. Now, I'm actually kind of surprised that he didn't make the Pro Bowl last year with the Chiefs. I'm actually surprised. I thought, like, looking at this list, you would have just thought the season that he had in KC last year, you'd have just thought he was a Pro Bowler, but he actually wasn't. So L'Jarius Sneed, I think, is the obvious man on this list. Maybe Calvin Ridley. I'm not sure if he made a Pro Bowler yet, but L'Jarius Sneed, I think, is obvious. And for the last but not least, the Washington Commanders, Samuel Cosmi. Now, we have Terry McLaurin, who's been a Pro Bowler. Terry McLaurin for the Ohio State. Jaden Daniels he could be potential Pro Bowler, but I don't just see that yet with the quarterback position in his conference. But Samuel Cosmi has been a very productive offensive lineman for the Commanders, and one of the pieces that they ended up keeping around with them going through this little rebuild. They ended up trading Sweat and all that. So I can see that there. But hey, these are the list, and those are my thoughts. If you guys think or see anything different, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.